Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us here for our 8th episode of Cowboy Coffee with Meeker Alumni, a podcast created to help reconnect Meeker High School alumni with former classmates, teachers, and friends while following current Meeker High School student athletes, their sports, and their activities. My name is Bobby Gutierrez. I'm from the class of 1979. I'm joined here by fellow host Dale Dunbar, Meeker High School class of 1978, and also our host, Hallie Turner Blunt, Meeker High School class of 1995, and our studio technician is Rich Klensman. He is a graduate of Otis High School on the Eastern Slope, class of 1994. Go ahead, Rich.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Bulldogs. Thank you all for joining us again. We're here in the studio at the Rio Blanco Herald Times building, created by Lucas Turner. We're thankful that they let us use this studio here, located on corner of 4th and Main Streets in downtown Meeker, Colorado. We record these episodes and later upload them onto Facebook, onto our Facebook page there, and then we start sharing it around. Again, welcome everyone for coming. Today is Tuesday, February 9th. Is that right? 8th.
Today's the 8th.
February 8th, 2022. And our special guest today is Kathy Nelson, who has graduated from Meeker High School in 1987. Thank you so much for joining us, Kathy. Kathy was kind enough to go to our website, cowboycoffeewithcoaches.com, and / Meeker Alumni. She filled out a questionnaire, and we called her up, and she agreed to come on to the show with us. So we're very thankful for her agreeing to do that. Kathy's grew up here, went to school, come back, taught, was a principal, and is now retired, so she's got a lot to talk about or tell us about. We'll go ahead and let her tell us about growing up here in Meeker, maybe who some of her classmates and teachers were, and maybe a couple high school stories, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us, Kathy.
Thanks for having me. This is fun.
Good.
So I was born up in the hospital up here in Meeker, delivered
Can't
by
be
Dr.
said
Ryan.
We've had a few people say that, yeah. We need to change that.
Went to school for through kindergarten all the way through. I had lots of fun in school. Maybe more fun than studying sometimes, but that's okay.
You can say that now.
I can, yeah. It's okay to have fun.
Yes.
I believe that. I went to college in Oklahoma at Panhandle State University.
Mm-hmm.
Went down there on a rodeo scholarship. And then when I stopped rodeoing, the band teacher asked me if I played any instruments, so I got a band scholarship and played in the band there. Played percussion. Wow. So,
what events did you rodeo in?
I did breakaway roping, goat tying, and barrel racing. But goat tying was my specialty at that time.
Okay.
In high school rodeos, I actually did really well in cutting, so that was kind of my thing.
Did we have a rodeo team?
We did have a rodeo team. Harry Watt was our official sponsor.
Sponsor or coach or both?
He was our sponsor. Well, he was Melanie's coach.
Oh, okay.
We each had our own coaches.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a team. We had what we called the Northwest team. So it was Melanie Watt, Casey Miller, Rowdy Atwood, and a bull rider from Rifle, and two sisters from Aspen. And we were the Northwest team. And my senior year, we won state. So that was
wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Because eventually that team had national championships, national champions
yes,
on it.
Some of those kids, yeah. Travis and Rowdy, I believe.
Yeah, Rowdy Atwood won a national championship team roping.
Yes.
And you guys got scholarships. That was a heck of a team.
Yeah, we had fun. No, that was a couple years later.
Oh, wow. So did you rodeo all through high school then? Did you have a team?
I think I started when I was a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
I had always, done Little Britches and some of those kind of rodeos. And then I found out about high school rodeoing, and Melanie and I kind of geared it up and got it figured out and started going. So that's where I spent most of my weekends, was on the other side of the mountain at a rodeo.
Is that where most of them was over?
Yeah, it's kind of like other sports and things where they don't like to come this way.
Sure.
So we all go that way. So.
And was it a Little Britches affiliation, or was
No,
it?
it was high school.
High school rodeo.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
It is a high school sport.
And how long did we have a team? And do you know how
I don't
long?
know. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I think that was, about the time Rowdy and them kind of finished up. Then, like when I was in high school, we had to rodeo with Craig, or when the Norells came and Tate, they rodeoed with the Wyoming team primarily.
Okay, but so we always had competitors, just maybe not a team.
Yeah,
Always.
on different
Okay.
teams, I think.
We had a team when you and I were in school. We had a rodeo team. Danny Crawford and Kurt Graham and
Roger Decker.
Roger Decker. Yeah. Madeline. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You said
One of those things you block.
that Melanie's coach was Harry. Who was your primary coach?
My grandpa, Dave Prather, was my coach. We did a lot of roping.
All
A
right.
lot of roping. So yeah, he kept me really well mounted.
And you grew up on a horse, and
I did. I started riding, I don't know, when I was really little. I had a really rotten little pony named Pedro who taught me how to ride and taught me how to stay on.
Get tough or die, huh?
He clotheslined me. He laid down on me. He rolled on me. He was the worst little animal. But I got tough.
okay, good deal.
And did you guys get to rope together quite a bit, you and Dave? When he was working with you?
We did some, yeah. We roped around here. That's before they had number ropings and things like that. You just roped.
What's
Because he
number
roped forever.
roping?
Number roping is kind of like a handicap situation, and so they call it like a number 10 roping. So if you're at 8, you can rope with the 2, or 2 5s can rope together. It is a handicapping situation of some sort. But they didn't do that back then.
Okay, so before we interrupted you, you said you went to school on a rodeo scholarship, and then did that, and then, excuse me here, you can edit that out too. Oh, sorry, my daughter. And then you said you started playing band in college. You said
I did.
Okay.
So
what instrument?
I played percussion.
Oh,
So I played a little bit of everything. I was in the marching band. I played the snare. In the concert band, I played the timpani and xylophones. And in the pet band, I played bongos or just whatever I could get my hands on. So I played a little bit of everything. So I got my PE credits through marching band, and that was kind of cool. So yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that.
And that was Panhandle State. Where is that located?
It's in Goodwell, Oklahoma.
Goodwill.
It's a
Okay.
very tiny little town that graduates like 10 kids a year.
Oh, my
little
word.
bitty town. The town of Guyman is nearby. It's like
Oh,
10
okay.
miles away. So
Okay, so
Little
you
small
went to school there and got a degree.
I did. I got a bachelor's degree in elementary education and minored in education, but I also almost had a minor in art.
Oh.
Which leads me to my favorite teacher, which was Mrs. Hertzke.
Oh, okay.
She
Good.
loved Mrs. Hertzke. She was the great teacher.
And do you do any art now, kind of?
Now that I'm retired, I'm kind of starting to draw again and get back into it.
In what medium? Or
A little bit of everything. Right now I'm playing with pencil.
Oh, okay.
I've got some pen and ink stuff. I used to do a lot of pastel stuff. So I like to do cartoons. I'm pretty good at cartooning. But, but I try to do realistic stuff too. Of course, I draw a lot of animals.
Okay.
So.
And so you went get out of college, and then
So I was one of those kids, like I've heard a lot of people say on this show, that was going to get out of Meeker and never come back. And 4 years in Oklahoma made me Miss Colorado.
okay.
So I ended up in Fort Morgan, which I did 4 years there, teaching 3rd grade and 1st grade.
Is that where you did student teaching?
No, that's where I got my first job. I student taught in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
But that side of the mountain wasn't Colorado. So I
Right.
had to come back. I decided maybe I was coming back to Meeker. So I came back here in 96
Okay.
and started teaching here. Was hired by Bill Ertmer, who was
Oh,
my
wow.
3rd grade teacher. So
Oh,
that was
wow.
kind of interesting. Yeah.
Do you
So
keep in touch with Mr. Ertmer?
I haven't seen him
heard
in a
from
while,
him.
no.
Okay, yeah.
So what did you start teaching when you came back?
So I taught 3rd grade for 4 years. And then I went into the Title I position, and I taught Title I reading and math for 7 years. And then I decided it was time to go back to the classroom, and I taught second grade for 4 more years. Then I moved to the dark side and started working at the district office. And I was a teacher on special assignment, which meant I was a jack of all trades and did a little bit of everything. And I did that for 4 years, I believe, before I became the principal.
Special assignment. That sounds like a secret job.
It was kind of, here, do this. I don't have time. Do this. Here, do this.
So you got
it was a different thing every day.
An understanding of kind of how it all works.
Yeah, I did, and that's when I decided that maybe the principal thing might be, interesting. So that's when I went back to school to get that degree.
Is that a master's or is it just
Well, I already had a master's. I got a master's from Adams State in curriculum. And then I did a master's program at Mesa. I didn't do the full master's because I already had a master's, but I got an endorsement in teaching children of other languages. I think it's called linguistically diverse education. And then I went back to school again for the last time at CU Denver to get my administrative leadership policy studies is what it was called. And that's when I got my principal license. And I got a ed specialist degree in that.
So how much schooling year-wise?
A lot. And that was all while I was teaching and working.
Wow.
So it was all, on the weekends and such. So,
wow.
So, yeah, I did a lot of that.
Okay, and so then you were principal for how long?
7 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep.
Well,
And then
good
I
for
just
you.
retired in July.
Awesome. So how many total years do you have in the Meeker School District?
In Meeker, 26.
Wow. Didn't seem like it's that long.
I also coached
Yes.
middle school volleyball for 12 years.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I knew
Did a
you
stint
coached.
in
Yeah.
that for a while, so that was fun too.
And did you play volleyball in high school?
I did a little bit. I wasn't the greatest volleyball player, but I played a little bit of volleyball, and but I was a wrestling cheerleader when I was
Yes, okay.
a junior and senior, so that was fun. Our mascots were Hallie and Molly.
Yeah,
They
good.
climbed around on us a
remember
lot.
that. They had little uniforms and pigtails. I remember, yes.
You
Yep.
guys had to carry us. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, we rode the bus with the wrestlers, and we worked out with them and ran with them and stuff like that. It was very fun.
Good.
So
Out of the different jobs that you had in education, which one did you enjoy the most?
I don't know. I think there was aspects of everything that I really liked. Just kids in general. They make you laugh. They make you cry sometimes. But, if you can't laugh and enjoy kids, you should not be in education. But I just enjoyed all my time with kids. I have a notebook full of funnies that I've written down over the years of funny things kids have said, and I've kept that. And I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe someday I'll publish it or something like that. I've got a lot of good ones in there, and I can remember every single one of those things when I go back and read them. They're pretty good stuff.
Do you have one you could share with the listeners and with us?
Or a few.
Or if you,
Well, I have a pretty good one. I had a student that was extremely gifted, and he was gifted in that sense of that he was kind of out there a little bit. And his classmates adored him and thought he was the smartest thing in the world. And we were sharing one day, and he and I were sitting together on the little box that we did our sharing with, and he was, I don't know, he brought in this big, it was a beaver dam that he had made. It was just a giant pile of sticks with a bunch of glue poured all over it, and it was terrible. And the kids were asking him questions, and he's got a piece of paper that has nothing on it, and he is completely making things up. And at one point I looked over at him and what are you doing? And he's like, it's okay, they don't know the difference. So he just filled them all
He's
full
a
of a bunch of
second
baloney all
grader.
the time. This was in third grade. I don't know what happened to him. I have not heard, but I think he's probably done something pretty cool.
Okay, and kids, you have a daughter. Maybe a little bit about her.
I have a daughter, Macy. She's a senior at the University of Wyoming.
Okay.
About to graduate.
And what is she studying?
She will get a degree in animal science with a minor in communications. And she's shopping around right now for master's programs.
Uh-huh.
So she's looking to do small ruminant genetics.
Small what?
Small ruminants. So that would be sheep and goats, basically.
Okay.
So she wants to do something in the genetic field. I think it depends on what she ends up doing research in and exactly what she'll do with it. But her goal is to eventually get a PhD in genetics.
Wow.
So
She shares the love and just absolute passion for livestock like your dad, doesn't she?
yes, she does. They're pretty good buddies. They spend a lot of time looking at magazines and online sales, and my poor mother, every time those two get together, money gets spent.
Well, because your dad, over the years,
Yeah,
with the horses and goats and cattle and everything else, he doesn't have a PhD in genetics, but he has certainly amazing.
I think he has a life PhD.
Yeah.
But he's always just kind of been on the cutting edge of what's kind of coming up, and he knows what's going to be kind of hot coming up, and he's always just been in the middle of a lot of that stuff, and he's raised a lot of really good livestock.
Mm-hmm.
And your brother, you have a
I
brother?
have a brother, Chris. He was class of 84.
Okay.
He lives in California. He's the general manager of Roundup Cattle Company, which is an internet marketing company. He also farms nuts, and he has some cows as well.
Oh, wow.
So.
And you said you were repping on your shirt. What's your
I am. My shirt says "Eat beef" because the West wasn't one on salads. So
There you go. We know
part
that.
of my job at the ranch is doing a little bit of marketing because Dad doesn't advertise enough. So I'm trying to get our critters out there on Facebook. We raise a lot of club calves and 4-H lambs and goats, and we need to get those in the hands of good kids, and because they're good animals. And
Well, so go ahead and pitch and maybe kind of say a little bit. I
Tell
mean,
us a
because
little.
that is kind of what this is all about, a different technology and a different way of getting the word out. And so, yeah, let us kind of tell us what you have going.
Well, so it's White River Ranch. We're on Facebook.
Okay.
You can like us there. Like I said, we have a calf sale in this fall, and we partner with a guy in Montana, and he takes a bunch of our calves up there and halter breaks them and stuff, and we get those in the hands of kids that show them, and they show all over the country, so that's really cool. We have sheep and goats that we sell as well. We have a handful of horses, a few miniature donkeys.
So
some
you sell
peacocks, some
them,
pheasants.
and then do you support them through their showings, or how do you
Somewhat.
kind of?
With the steers, Dan, our partner, does a lot of he helps kids fit, and he drives around and helps them get them ready and stuff.
Oh, wow.
We, support with phone calls and send us a picture. He's not looking
Do you
fat
do
enough,
video
feed more.
conferencing? And,
Some.
uh-huh.
Some. A lot of it is, send us a picture and kind of look at it, and you need to feed more of this or less of that or whatever. So, but a lot of our kids know what they're doing, and some of them just take them and go with them and do their own thing and don't need a lot of support. So,
Over the years, how many grand champion animals? I know it's hard to know, but I know Macy had a set, probably double-digit grand champions. How many do you think that your dad and Macy and you have
I have no idea.
raised?
Macy, I think I counted up once, had like 12 champion and reserve goats, and I think 7 champion sheep, or champion and reserve sheep, just at our county fair. My dad raised the champion steer at National Western Stock Show one year, which is a huge deal.
Sure, yeah.
He came from us. That was our biggest probably success nationally.
Yeah.
But Chris and I always did really well at the fair as well. When they didn't show goats back then, so we showed pigs and sheep and steers. So, a lot.
And you guys had, grand champions as well when you're in Chris's time, right?
Quite a few, yeah. And Dad did too when he was young. He showed a lot of animals as well. He showed a lot of sheep mostly is what he showed.
And then he had a run there with the paint horses with the homozygous or something.
He did. He raised So my mare that I rodeoed with, Lil, she was a beautiful black and white mare.
Remember.
She was a pretty cool horse.
Pedro's out of the picture now.
Yeah, Pedro was long gone by then. Lil was a pretty fancy little horse, and he finally talked me into letting him breed her. And her first colt was True Bruiser, and he was one of the first homozygous paints around.
Good
And
word.
homozygous-
What's the word for the day?
Homozygous means that they will throw a paint every single time, no matter what you breed them to.
There we go.
So otherwise, you've got like a 50-50 chance, or if you do two paints, the Punnett square thing.
Amazing.
So this is 100%. So he was very popular. Kelsey Milton and I fed a lot of mares, because mares came to get bred there, and we would have upwards to 40 mares on the place at one time, and she and I would feed hay for hours. We lifted a lot of hay. But he was a really cool horse. My dad bought 2 mares when I was about 11 or 12, and I picked mine, which was Lil, and Sue was the other one. Sue had a stud colt named Painted True, so he was Mr. T. So between those 2 stud horses, we did a lot of business with that. And then Dad was the president of the Paint Horse Association when Macy was a baby. So back in around
Is that
2000.
in the country or the state? Oh, wow. Okay.
Because they had changes. I mean, wasn't he big in making changes, like in terms of having to be the mares on the place to get bred, or being able to ship and doing all of that?
I think so. I don't know a lot about that, but we did a lot of shipped semen as well. So.
You've mentioned your dad, just for our listeners, and you might want to tell us who your dad,
So
your real
my
folks are.
parents are Forrest and Connie Nelson. Dad graduated in 1960 from Meeker High School, and Mom in 61.
Okay, good.
Dad, they both went to, Dad went to school at CSU, and Mom started out at DU. I'm a second generation college drummer. She was the, she was a DU jazz band. She played the trap set.
Oh, wow.
In the jazz band at DU. But then she finished up at CSU, and they got married and had Chris and I.
And she worked for the school district for how many years?
She did. She started probably, I don't know, when I was in junior high, somewhere in the 80s, she started working for the school district. So she was in the finance department and paid bills and paid teachers and stuff there. So.
Well, good. And they're all doing well?
Yep. Kind of the idea of part of me retiring and joining the ranch is so that maybe Dad would slow down a little bit. That has not happened.
Knowing Forrest, I don't think that'll happen.
I don't know anybody who works as hard as he does. He works me in the ground on a daily basis. He wears me out. But he likes to be busy. And
Good.
So but now they're freed up a little bit now that they can go on little trips and things like that. My nephew plays football at CSU, so they can get away and watch some games every now and then and feel like they can leave the ranch, because then I'll stay home and take care of things there. So it's good for
that's
them to
one
get
of
out.
Chris's boys.
Yep, Chris has 3 boys.
Yeah, they were all football players, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. 2 of them played college ball. The other
Okay.
one
Just
did
little
not.
guys, huh?
Yeah,
they're
Huge.
they're big boys. Yeah,
They're playing for CSU. They're going to
Yeah.
yeah. My other nephew played at Southeast Missouri. So
Okay, well.
yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So you kind of retired, but then jumped right back in
Yeah, I'm
in the family business.
pretty busy every day. I was thinking about that today. It's I think ranching in the winter is a lot like the movie Groundhog Day. It's kind of the same thing every day, over and over and over. I do a lot of feeding. I feed grain, I feed hay, and then I feed some more hay, and then I feed some more grain. And I have 11 bottle babies right now, so I mix a lot of milk and feed a lot of bottles. So yeah, I have seven goats and 4 lambs. So.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of babies on the ground. We're just about to finish up with the old mothers, and then the young first-timers are about to start, which is always exciting.
And then that's when they start, then you start selling the 4-H calves? Or
We'll have those lambs and goats will be ready probably the end of March. for kids to buy. And then calving starts.
And how would they contact you again?
Through the Facebook page. They could probably find me there.
And the Facebook page again is
White River Ranch.
White River Ranch. Okay.
I think it's White River Ranch, Meeker, Colorado, because I think there might be another one somewhere. But if you look that up, you might be able to find us.
So do you have a steady clientele that come and buys every year from you, or is it a good repeat?
Several people that are on the list all the time. What we do is, what Dad has always done is, the first person who says they want one is the first person on the list. They get first pick. And so they're usually saying again, at the fair, as soon as they have a good day at the fair, hey, I want another one.
Get on that list right now.
So we start. My mom has her little list all written down, and we just go down the list and call people and say it's your turn to come. So.
And they come out and
they come out to the
pick.
ranch and buy in there. We've done sales in the past, but it's a lot of work to throw that all together and get an auctioneer and all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh wow.
So it's easier to do the private treaty way.
Private treaty, right?
Private treaty, yeah. So
Okay.
you just come out and buy straight from the ranch. So.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Talking just a little bit, sorry, I'm going back from the agriculture back to when you were a principal,
Yes.
because I was fortunate enough, I worked when you were the principal. I was the counselor when I first got the job. And I think being a principal in my mind is thankless, but so important. And you did it through a time with COVID and through, several different challenges. What in your mind do you think is, what made you successful for 7 years and being able to do that for so long?
I don't know. Because I'm really stubborn and hard-headed, and I'm not a quitter probably. But
For real.
that's part of
Good
it.
for you.
I don't know. I think just having empathy for those kids that don't have great home life. There's a lot of kids that no matter what they do, they're going to be fine. They have parent support and that kind of stuff. But I think that some kids have a lot harder life, and they come with a lot of baggage, and being able to understand those kind of kids and work with them and treat them with respect and treat their parents with respect is probably something that I'm pretty proud of that I was able to do.
Yeah. I witnessed that. I think that's absolutely right. I wouldn't have been able to say it as well as you did, but I think that's absolutely right that you treated every kid with respect and you had a soft spot for that. And I think sometimes people don't see with principals, they always see that, parents and different things have a tendency to maybe complain more, but they didn't always see that side of, being just passionate and compassionate for all the kids.
There's a saying, and I'm not going to get it right, but it's something to do with that the kids who need the most love are the ones that are the hardest to love, because they bring things in that are, so, but I think, I don't know, I kind of have a soft spot for those kiddos.
Yeah.
Hallie was always great because we did good cop, bad cop a lot.
I get you.
We were really good at bouncing things off each other and pretty good at just doing it on the fly, so that was always good. And it's good. It's good to be surrounded by good people as well.
But I think that was such an important thing, like you said, having a passion for those kids and then being honest and your integrity, and you knew exactly where you stood. I think you said it, you were honest, you were straightforward with people, and that says a lot for, your leadership and for the kids. The kids knew exactly where they stood,
Thank you, yeah. And, I think that's, I don't know, I think just because they're little doesn't mean you have to treat them like they're not humans.
Right.
I treat kids like I treat my friends, they're just people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think we have a great school district and people like yourselves.
We do, and I think that if you go through and you count up all the people that work in the school district that are graduates of Meeker High School, I think that tells you what a good school district we have, because it's a really large number. I couldn't tell you right off the top of my
They
head.
go
There's
and
a lot
come
of
back, and why do you think that is?
I think Meeker, like I said, I wasn't ever coming back here, because it was just so, everybody knows what's going on, but that's kind of the good thing about it too, is that you kind of look out for each other and when you know what's going on and things like that, and it's a great place to raise kids. You don't worry too much about safety or too bad of things happening to kids. It's just a nice little town, and for as much as it's changed, it really hasn't changed much. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think the people have changed some, but I just think it's a good place to raise kids, and I think a lot of people realize that and come back here to work. Mm-hmm. I think I have 10 classmates that still live in Meeker or that have come back to Meeker.
Oh.
So that's...
And so who were some of your classmates?
Well, the ones who live in Meeker, Terry Geddert, Mark Scritchfield, Clint Adams Schultz, Becky and Pat Hughes, Peggy Kilduff, Leaf Joy, Todd Gerloff.
And all those guys, you hear those names, and they're all involved in different things. And
yeah, they are.
I think that's kind of another thing
are,
is, you go and you come back and you get involved and start sharing it with your kids, and
you kind of want your kids to have the same experience or better than you
or
did.
better than
absolutely.
And because I remember your parents being big in the 4-H and all of that for not only you and your brother, but all the other kids and that. So, yeah.
Yeah, they did. They were leaders for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah.
And are you a 4-H leader? And
currently I'm not. I was for about 13 years.
Oh, wow.
But I went ahead and passed the torch on that. I'm on the 4-H, the Rio Blanco County 4-H Youth Fund, which I've been on for the 26 or so years that I've been here. My grandfather, Ray, was one of the people who established that group, and we do scholarships for kids and send kids on 4-H trips. And
so maybe a little information on that and kind of how that works, or how people could donate or get involved.
Yes, we're a nonprofit, so we can always use money.
Sure.
We're also on Facebook with the Rio Blanco County 4-H Youth Fund.
Okay.
We sponsor a lot of awards for kids. We encourage kids to fill out resumes so that they can apply for awards. We found that, I know with Macy, filling out that resume each year and then adding to it, then when it was time to do scholarships and things like that, it was just real easy to just whip that thing out, and everything was kind of lined out in chronological order, and it was really a good thing. We give a scholarship or two every year to seniors on either end of the county. We do support the whole county. We've sent kids to Washington, D.C. to the Washington Focus Leadership Trip, which is something that both my brother and I went on as well.
Oh, good.
We helped support the judging team when they went to nationals to judge in Kentucky. So we just help out where we can.
Okay, if you say it's a board, who's all on the board?
Oh, you're
testing.
Go to the website and find out.
I'm not even sure it's on the website. Iris Franklin is on that, Peggy Griffin, Danny Theus, Billy Geddert, and Marie Scritchfield are the Meeker people that are on there.
Okay, good.
There's some Ranging folks on there as well.
And what's your source of funding mainly?
Just donations.
Donations. So if anybody wants to donate, get a hold of you guys.
we do the Mountain Valley Bank deal. That helps us quite a bit. We raise quite a bit of money with that. But yeah, it's all donations. We do have a benefit trust that we hold money that we. A lady that was Nancy Beard, who was very into 4-H, and she supported chickens and rabbits. And so we give a chicken and rabbit award every year through that money. So we're the stewards of some money as well that people have given us.
All right. So, again, the Meeker 4-H Youth Fund.
Rio Blanco County 4-H Youth Fund, yes.
Rio Blanco County 4-H Youth Fund. All right. Okay. And White River Ranch.
White River Ranch.
Meeker, Colorado.
Yep.
All right. Well, good. Anything else you got?
She's pretty busy.
You are busy.
I am. Everybody says, how's retirement?
Yeah.
Where you just sit, somebody literally asked me the other day, do you just sit around and eat food all day, or what do you do? And I'm like, I stay pretty busy, actually. It's a good thing I don't sit around and eat food all day. I wouldn't want to sit around.
If Forrest and Connie are your parents, you probably don't sit around at all.
You probably don't get to sit around.
No, just at lunchtime. That's about the only time. I do get fed lunch every day. It's pretty good. So.
All right.
Mom's a good cook.
Good deal. Well, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. And again, go to our website, cowboycoffeewithcoaches.com /Meeker alumni. And there's a questionnaire there you can fill out, and we'll try to get you on the show. It'd be great. But we appreciate you taking the time out and coming, and then again, all that you've done for the community and the kids of our community.
Thank
so.
you. Thank you.
Good deal, and good luck, and have fun in your retirement.
Thank you.
And all the projects that you're doing.
For sure. So, okay, we record this, and then we'll get it uploaded and start sharing it around on Facebook. But again, thank you for joining us, and thank you for tuning in, listening.
It's a great day to be a cowboy.
Thank you, Dale. We'll close on that. Thank you.